So for a bit of a background info, have a younger brother and an elder. I just graduated and am now looking for a job. My family and I are immigrants living in a Gulf country. We were originally from another lower middle income country. I had gone back there for college and have returned to my family now. My younger brother has a really bad development delay. At this age, he only has the IQ and speech of a 3 to 4-year-old. The reason is some rare type of genetic defect. He can do many things on his own, it's his speech that's most affected. He cannot talk beyond few words at a time. And they're not that clear either. He also has borderline autism spectrum disorder. He went to school pretty late and was just recently removed from 2nd grade because he couldn't keep up with the other kids of his class. When he was 3 years old, another doctor had recommended him speech therapy OT, and my parents took him there for a few sessions and then stopped because they couldn't afford it, didn't have anyone to drive him there every day. Both my parents are working. 2 months back, my dad also lost his job. Even though he's trying to find a job, he's like 68 years old. Don't know how much longer he can work. Don't want him to also. We can't all just pack it up and go back home. We will earn literally just pennies back there. And it's highly unlikely either of my parents will find a job there. And we can't just gamble everything on that if they get a job. So I think one of my parents could go home with my younger brother, and me and my elder brother along with the remaining parent could send them money for the speech therapy, rent, school, etc. But here's the reason why I'm so on the fence about this. I do not want to send my little brother with my dad because he's really attached to our mother. And my dad has anger issues. He's old, he makes my mom do everything. So I do not trust a word he says that he will take care of my little brother and all that. I can't really send my mom either with my little brother because what if my dad does not get a job anymore? Me and my elder brother do not earn nearly enough. We just graduated to support 2 households, one here, one back home. When I was back in college, I begged them to send him to me, that I would work and take care of him while they worked there. They didn't. Now after coming back here, I'm not really sure I'll be able to take care of him alone either. What do I do? I've just lost all hope. I've tried my best to be a family counselor for my family throughout my life, and I don't think I can do this anymore. Please give me your advice. I don't know who else to go to. Younger brother needs speech therapy OT, but we can't afford it in this country. But it's cheaper and better in our home country. Only we will earn less too and won't be able to afford it. Unless some of us stay here and one of us go back home. What do I do? I think maybe my mother could leave her job and stay at home to take care of my brother here too. Maybe we could use some online therapy stuff, but I wonder if it'll be as effective on my little brother as his late by so many years. On a quiet street in a modest neighborhood, the Alvarez household is like many others in the city, a blend of love, stress, laughter, and tension. But underneath the surface of family dinners and school routines lies a heavy weight. The family is financially struggling, and 10-year-old Lucas Alvarez needs therapy they can't afford. His older sister, Mariana, 21, sits at the kitchen table with a binder full of bills and insurance paperwork, her brow furrowed in concentration. "We're not asking for luxuries," she says, her voice steady. "We're just trying to get my brother the help he needs." Lucas has been showing signs of anxiety and trauma ever since their father left the family 2 years ago. He flinches at loud noises. He struggles to sleep. He barely speaks at school. But when the school counselor recommended professional therapy, the Alvarez family was faced with a choice that's becoming increasingly common: mental health care or rent. The Alvarez family lives on a single income. Their mother, Sophia, works 2 jobs, one at a local bakery, another cleaning offices at night. Combined, she brings in just under $2,800 a month. With rent, utilities, groceries, and school costs for Lucas, there's little left. And with therapy sessions ranging from $100 to $200 per hour, it's easy to see why the math doesn't add up. Therapy isn't a luxury. It's a necessity for some kids, says Dr. Anika Bat, a child psychologist who works with underserved communities. But in the U.S., access to mental health support is often dictated by wealth. According to the National Alliance on Mental Illness, 1 in 6 children aged 6 to 17 experience a mental health disorder each year, yet nearly 50% of them do not receive treatment. The barriers? Cost, lack of insurance coverage, and shortage of mental health providers. For Lucas, the need is clear, but the options are few. Lucas is small for his age, with big brown eyes and a cautious smile. He loves dinosaurs and drawing but avoids crowds and often clutches a small stuffed turtle when he's nervous. At school, teachers have noticed his withdrawn behavior. At home, Mariana sees the changes up close. He used to be so playful, she recalls. Now he has these moments where he just shuts down. The turning point came after a panic attack during a school field trip. He couldn't breathe. He was shaking. They had to call me to come pick him up, Mariana says. That's when I knew it wasn't something he'd just grow out of. But even after referrals from the school, affordable help proved elusive. We called 4 places. One had a 6-month wait list. Another wanted a $400 intake fee, Mariana says. We don't even have $400 for groceries some weeks. Mental health and poverty, a vicious cycle. Experts say the Alvarez family's situation is far from unique. Families living in or near poverty often face compounding stresses: job insecurity, housing instability, food scarcity that increase the likelihood of mental health issues in children. But these are also the families least likely to afford treatment. There's a cruel irony here, says Dr. Bat. The kids who are most vulnerable are the ones most often shut out of the system, and when mental health care is out of reach, the consequences can be long-lasting. Childhood trauma and untreated anxiety can interfere with cognitive development, academic performance, and social relationships. Long-term, it can even increase the risk of substance abuse and chronic illness. For Lucas, early intervention could change the course of his life, Bat adds. But right now he's waiting. At 21, Mariana should be thinking about college or starting her own life. Instead, she's shouldering a burden many young adults in low-income families know all too well: becoming the caretaker, the advocate, the problem solver. I dropped out of community college to help my mom, she says, her voice softening. I take Lucas to school. I pick him up. I do homework with him. And now I'm trying to figure out how to get him therapy too. Mariana has spent countless nights on Reddit forums, YouTube videos, and nonprofit websites trying to piece together a solution. She's called community clinics, messaged social workers, and applied for charity-funded therapy programs. I'm doing everything I can, she says. But it feels like I'm screaming into a void. The emotional toll is real. Like many older siblings in struggling households, Mariana is caught between responsibility and resentment. She doesn't regret helping her family, but she does wish she didn't have to carry so much alone. There are nights I cry in the bathroom after Lucas is asleep, she admits. I just want him to have a chance. Mental health advocates say policy changes are urgently needed. That includes expanding Medicaid to cover more low-income families, increasing funding for school-based mental health professionals, and regulating therapy costs. There's a mental health crisis in this country, and families like the Alvarezes are paying the price, says Lisa Romero, director of a nonprofit that connects families to affordable therapists. Romero's organization, Healing Hands Network, recently launched a pilot program offering sliding scale therapy for kids in Mariana's area. But the wait list is already more than 200 families long. Demand far exceeds capacity, Romero says. We need systemic change. Some school districts have started using teletherapy programs to reach more children. Others are training teachers to spot early warning signs and offer classroom-level interventions. But these efforts, while promising, are often underfunded and unevenly implemented. In a wealthier neighborhood, Lucas would already have a therapist, maybe even 2, says Romero. But because of where he lives and what his family earns, he's left behind. We're not giving up on him despite the setbacks. The Alvarez family is not giving up. Mariana recently found a local university with a graduate psychology clinic offering low-cost counseling. The sessions are run by students under supervision, but it's a start. They said they can do $20 a session, Mariana says, her face lighting up. It's still a stretch, but we're going to try. Sophia, their mother, agreed to pick up a few more cleaning hours, even though it means less sleep. He's my son, she says. We'll find a way. The family also started a small GoFundMe campaign, though Mariana hesitated to make it public. "I don't want people to think we're just begging," she says. "But if it helps Lucas, I'll do anything." In the meantime, Lucas has started drawing again pictures of oceans, sharks, and his favorite turtles. "They hide in their shells when they're scared," he told Mariana one night. "But they're still strong." She held back tears. "Yes, they are," she whispered. "Just like you." Lucas's story is personal, but it taps into a broader national conversation about how society values or devalues mental health care, especially for children in marginalized communities. In a country that spends billions on healthcare each year, why is it still so hard for a 10-year-old to see a therapist? Why do families have to crowdfund mental health care while juggling multiple jobs? Why does help come with a price tag so high that it feels like a punishment for being poor? These are the questions the Alvarez family is left to ponder, not out of political interest, but out of desperate necessity. The system may be broken, but families like these keep going. At the end of the day, the Alvarez family is doing what families do, making impossible choices, finding slivers of hope, and refusing to give up on each other. Lucas doesn't fully understand the sacrifices being made for him, but one day he might. And maybe he'll remember his sister sitting at the kitchen table making calls and filling out forms. Maybe he'll remember how his mom took extra shifts just to afford 1 hour of therapy. Maybe he'll remember that even when everything else felt unstable, their love never was. Until then, the fight continues. For Lucas. For thousands like him. For the belief that mental health care should be a right, not a privilege.